Welcome back. I'm Gabriel, your host, and today we will review games 5 and 6 of the round of 16 of the World Cup in Qatar 2022. First game was between Japan and Croatia. An interesting game where Japan probably deserved better. They had better chances, but they were not able to crystallize, and they had to settle for a tie after the 90 minutes, and then after the 120th minute and into the shootout. Goals were scored by Maida in the first half, right at the end of the first half, and then just 10 minutes into the second half, Croatia tied the game through Perisic. Once we got to the shootout, Croatian goalkeeper Livakovic became the hero, stopping 3 out of 4 shots, a very impressive feat. He stopped the shots by Minamino, Mitoma, and Yoshida. With that, Croatia won 3-1 the shootout and became the 5th team to qualify to the quarterfinals. The second game of the day was between Brazil and South Korea. Brazil quickly took care of the situation and put the game away within the first 35 minutes, scoring 4 goals, some of them very impressive. Vinicius Jr. was the first one to score. Around the 10th minute, Neymar put the game 2-0 via a very questionable PK. Then Richarlison and Lucas Paqueta put the score 4-0 going to the first half. Both goals, the third and the fourth, Richarlison's and Lucas Paqueta's goals were incredible. Richarlison receiving the ball assisted by the 2 center backs, and then Lucas Paqueta in a very fast, electrifying counter-attack. Second half Brazil was mostly coasting. They made a couple of substitutions. Even the keeper, who was impressive, Alisson made a couple of really impressive saves during the game. And Korea kept trying, and they only got the goal in the 90 minutes of the game through a very long shot by Sean Ho Pike. So the final score was 4-1 for Brazil. And with this, the quarterfinals for the upper part of the draw are already set. Let's see what our U21 men's team captain and play-by-play commentator Rowan Fitzler has to say.
When does the World Cup disappoint? I don't know, but another great day. First of all, Croatia and Japan, guess who got the prediction exactly right? Me. Such a great feeling to finally get 100% of a prediction correct. I know, some of my good friends on this podcast have already done so, but, it just feels good to get one in the bank. But, as I said, Croatia just edging them out on penalties, an ever so slight difference. And sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. I thought both teams played extremely well throughout the 90 minutes and the additional added time, extra time afterwards. But Croatia were just the better side and the more clinical penalty takers at the end of the day, with some really good saves from their keeper, and that's what got them to their quarterfinal match against the next team we're gonna talk about, which is Brazil playing South Korea. I mean, just no mercy whatsoever. Absolutely taking the soul right out of them, and just tearing them to pieces. It was really a sight for sore eyes how good Brazil can play and how well they did play today. They're definitely a deep tournament threat. I've been saying it since the start of the tournament, and I'm going to continue to say it. I think that the final should be and will be France against Brazil, and I really think that Brazil are just continuing to solidify their dominance and what they're all about here at this tournament. And, yeah, it was a great day for football. Another great 2 games, another 2 great fixtures today, and yeah.
So as said, the games on Friday are going to be Croatia against Brazil at 10 in the morning Eastern Time, followed by Netherlands against Argentina at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So one of these 4 teams will be a finalist in this current World Cup. Now some words from our technical director, Santiago Almada.
All right, guys, so another busy day of football today with the 2 round of 16, second last day of the round of 16. This morning, got the pleasure to watch Croatia, Japan. Honestly, I felt really disconnected from that game for whatever reason. it was just kind of like Japan was just a pleasure to watch, but I just didn't really care who won. I just feel like it's kind of one of those games that's more of a write-off. So, I was happy to see Croatia make it because I think they have the best chance against Brazil, who now just beat South Korea 4-1 in a pretty impressive performance. It's one of those things where I feel like this game is nowadays just based 100% on momentum. So Brazil got their 4 early goals, going up 2-0 12 minutes in. It was obviously we're going to score more. But I was watching the game with Ryan Chesky, one of our coaches and partners, and I even told him, I said, I don't think Brazil's going to score in the second half. It's just hard to keep that going, and it was pretty much exactly what happened. South Korea had some decent chances. Like the goal they scored, in my opinion, has been the best goal of the tournament so far, and they had a couple other shots. Fair play to Japan and South Korea, two Asian teams that weren't supposed to come as far as they have. Had really good performances, and I think they can leave the tournament pretty proud. Tomorrow, some banging games. We got Spain-Morocco first thing in the morning. And then we got Portugal versus Switzerland, was also going to be a decent match. Spain-Morocco, honestly, I'm cheering for Morocco. I think Spain is a very young team, and Morocco is very well organized, and they haven't lost in a very long time. I think it's going to be a lot tougher for Spain than they think, but on paper they should get the win, but I'm going to predict a 2-1 extra time win for Morocco. And then Portugal, I'm hoping to just get a regular time win. I'm hoping just a nice cheeky 2-0 win. I'm really rooting for Portugal. I really would love to see them in a semi-final or even in a final against Argentina. So those are my predictions. I'm hoping for another good game of games, a day of games tomorrow, then a day off. And then Friday is going to be just a movie with the games we got lined up, with Argentina playing at the same time and as the other quarterfinal games coming up. So should be a good day of games. Looking forward to it.
The final games of the round of 16 are tomorrow. The first game being, I believe the first game is Spain and Morocco. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the first game. Now, I think this is a kind of interesting game, seeing as Spain, they did have some problems against Germany, and they lost to Japan. Seeing as, they seem kind of lackadaisical at some points. And just somewhat, just not very potent with some of their movements. It's cool to have possession of the ball for 80% of the game, but if you don't do a whole lot with it, it doesn't really matter. So I'm excited to see how they come and strike back against an exciting Morocco team who tops Group F over teams like Croatia, Belgium, and Canada. I do think Spain will get it done. I do think it will be a scoreline of 2-0. I think Morocco will have their fair chances. I just think that they won't take them clinically enough. I think Morocco have had a good tournament so far, have had some success against Belgium and Canada, also drawing with Croatia in the groups. But I just think that Spain are just too good. They have lots of quality. They're going to keep the ball for a lot of this match, probably around 60 to 70%, even more maybe, as we've seen against teams like Japan. So, yeah, I just think that will be a dominating match for Spain for them to get to the quarterfinal. The last match is Portugal and Switzerland. Now, this one, forgive me, I actually quite like Switzerland and their team. I think they're top class. I think that they are somewhat overlooked. Everyone goes into the tournament thinking, oh, Denmark are the dark horses, blah, 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 blah. Denmark this, Denmark that. But I really do think that it's just another tournament where the Swiss are just really underappreciated for what they really do. Knocking a big juggernaut like France out of the Euros last year in the round of 16. I really do think that they can do it again. I will say, though, that although it would be cool, and I do think it's a very real possibility, for this one, it's the same with Japan. I just think that they might get edged out. So I'm going to say the game will be 2-2. It's going to go to extra time, and Portugal will either win 3-2 in added extra time or on penalties.
Live from Virginia, US, here's Freddy Tersolio for you.
Good evening. If I'm correct, I think all my picks so far have been spot on. So tomorrow, two very tough matches. Spain, Morocco, or Marruecos, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Anyhow, that is a tough one. I see Spain pulling through. Morocco presenting a good fight. It's going to be tight score. I don't think it's going to go to overtime. I think the young kids at Spain will be able to handle it. Morocco's going to give them a fight and they'll stress them out for a bit. But that is my point, my choice for the first of the two games. Tomorrow's game of Portugal against Switzerland is going to be Portugal. I think they have the experience. Switzerland has been doing very well throughout the tournament, but I think the grip that Portugal has to stay in it is actually going to make that difference. Plus, CR7 just few times does he disappoint, much less when you bring him up to the big leagues like now. So my choice is again Portugal.
So for tomorrow, we have games 7 and 8 of the quarterfinals. So at the end of the day tomorrow, we will have the last 8 teams in the World Cup. It looks to be very, very exciting. It also looks like the surprises are finishing, and we'll have the usual suspects in the last stages of this competition. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, we have Morocco against Spain. That game is going to be played at the Education City Stadium, and referee is going to be Fernando Rapalini from Argentina. Spain with their usual 4-3-3 formation with the three attackers, Fernan, Torres, Morata, and Dani Olmo. But watch Gavi. They're playing as the right wing or right midfielder. I think he's the player to watch. And with Morocco, same thing. 4-3-3 formation with the three guys up front being Hakim Ziyech, El Nesiri, and Boufal. I can have some hopes on Ziyech to get some stuff going in there. But in all fairness, Spain is heavy candidate here. Even though they dropped the last game in the group stage, I think Spain should prevail, and I'm predicting a 3-1 victory for the Spanish team. Second game of the day tomorrow looks to be even more interesting. It's going to be between Portugal and Switzerland. That game is going to be taking place at Lusail Stadium, and the referee is going to be Cesar Ramos from Mexico. Portugal with their 4-3-1-2 formation with Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and Joao Felix up front, and I think that's all we need to know. Especially the first two are doing fantastically. Cristiano Ronaldo is always CR7, and Bruno Fernandes is quite a striker. And then for Switzerland, they have the 4-2-3-1 formation with Embolo up front, and then Shaqiri, Sow, and Vargas right behind, and then the two outside midfielders, Xhaka and Freuler, who are probably the two players I like the most in this team. This game, I think, is going to be way more contested than Spain against Morocco. Again, assuming that the surprises for this World Cup have ended already. I cannot predict how this game is going to end. I mean, personally, I love the Swiss team. I would love the Switzerland to win. If they do, it's going to be either in extra time or via penalty kicks. I predict this game is going to be tied at the end of the regular time, and then Switzerland will get the upper hand during the extra time. With this, Switzerland should become the team that will play against Spain in the last quarterfinal, and then the winner of that game will play against the winner of France and England. So as I said, probably with the only exception of Switzerland and maybe Croatia, but Croatia came in like they played the final game in the last World Cup. We have all the usual suspects here.